You wonderful warriors of the broken sword, I'm Jonathan.
I am Nick.
And we are the Goslings. And we are joined tonight by our good friend and fellow author, Reese Bradley.
Yay.
Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah?
I'm here with my people.
Yeah.
My
You are here
brothers.
with your people.
Yes.
For sure.
Reese Bradley is the self-appointed baby sister that we never asked for. And I have had so much fun, like, cognitively reframing all of my interactions with you from now on, just from a state of treating you like my baby sister.
So, yeah.
That's
perfect.
So,
That's perfect.
anyways, let's go ahead and do the toast. You want to do the
Let's
toast?
do the toast.
Yeah? All right. Nick, you want to lead?
I will be happy to lead.
Cool.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Take up the broken sword of your father.
And strike down the darkness.
Light down the darkness.
Cheers.
Cheers. So good.
Oh, it burns so good.
We did the Goslings toast on my show the other day. Me and Amanda Adam.
Yeah.
Like a Viking
Jonathan told me
descent.
about this. He told me about this, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So tell me, how did it go?
Wonderful. She loved it. She loved it. And I was so like dramatic about it. I was like, I've gotten this from the Goslings. Take up the broken sword of your father and strike down the darkness. And she like freaked out over it. She loved it so much.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That's cool.
Was it tricky?
Tricky.
Tricky subject. I love that name.
So, Tricky, here she is, Reese Bradley. She's been a guest of ours before. She's an author of a middle grade fantasy series called Brumpletide. And we interviewed her about that. We'll let her talk about her books in a minute. But she has been such a huge, huge supporter of the show and our books.
Yeah.
And I've been on her. I think I've been on your live stream twice,
Yep.
3 times.
Yep. Yes, because including the Kid Venture with you and Rihanna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're
Yeah.
going to be on again.
I know. 2 weeks, right?
AI. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
AI.
going to talk about the devil.
Yes. So exciting.
Me
The
too.
Demon in the machine.
So, welcome to Thirsty Thursdays,
Yes.
where we kick back, we have some fun, and we engage with the chat. Tricky's on. If you're watching right now, if you're lurking, shout out, like say
Yeah.
something, comment.
Yeah.
Tricky's here. Tricky ain't shy.
Yeah. Tricky don't care.
He did the toast the other day when Amanda was there.
Oh, did he?
He was-
Yes.
Fantastic.
So
Tricky,
good.
you're solid.
Nice.
Tricky, you're so
But yeah,
solid.
I am your OG
Yeah.
Gosling super fan.
Yeah.
I'm the super
probably.
like OG super.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that to you. I'm gonna give that
I don't
to
think
you.
we have a choice.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Why? I'm the sister you never asked for.
That's
okay?
right.
Uh-huh.
Because
That's
I
right.
Yeah.
literally butted my way into your lives. Okay. I sat my butt on every live stream. And the way it all went down was story time. This is the way it went down. You may or may have not heard. Me and Nick connected through Teddy Roosevelt. The
That's
president.
right. Yes.
Yes.
Right,
On
right
Instagram.
here.
Mhm.
Teddy
Yes.
Roosevelt right here.
I am just learning things in my 40s. I'm 40. And so I was reading about Teddy Roosevelt, mind blown a million times. And I'm like, who is your favorite president? Mine is now Teddy Roosevelt. And Nick comes in.
100%.
And then I go to his Instagram and I see eight middle grade novels. First of all, he shows timepiece all the time, but unbelievable. I mean, these
My
books.
favorite cover.
This is so, and I also like Pirates of Skoogie because
That's a good one too.
I like that one.
I adore the Dead Mermaid storyline, and I just love the names Pirates of Skoogie. But
Thank you.
I had been on, I was in such a not depressed, but just kind of because I write middle grade books, and I had just come out of submission. The way it works when you are an author and you want to be traditionally published is you have to get an agent, which takes forever, and you get rejected a million times, and then they submit to publishers. So the whole thing is years long. You get tons of rejection. It's a horrible road. But meanwhile, I was on something called Publishers Marketplace. Okay.
Oh yes.
Yes. You know it. Yeah. And you have to
Dude,
pay.
they used to have phone books that I like phone book size
Thick volumes.
yearly
Yeah.
volumes, and I twice emailed and snail mailed every publisher in them trying to get Heavenly Realms published in 2005 and 2008.
Unbelievable.
I had stacks of rejection letters. Like
Yeah.
books.
It makes you
grueling.
stronger. There's a good side of it.
It does.
The
Yeah.
worst. Ugh. Because then in negative review, you're like, been there, done that. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, big deal.
Yes. So I in Publishers Marketplace, you can see all of the deals being made for kid literature, and slowly you realize no Christian or conservative has a chance here, you know, because not only on all of the editors' social media are they just extremely woke, okay, and then 2020 happened, and that whole, you know, they just came out with it, but the book deals themselves were all radical diversity and inclusion, okay. So anyway, I was depressed from it all, okay, because I'm like, this is not a good state, and then I see Nick. And I just happened upon your Instagram and I see 8 published middle grade, which is kidlit, okay, novels that have these fantastic covers. And so I read them. It was summer. We went to the beach and I'm just reading them. I'm just like, this is a gift from the Lord. This is a gift from the Lord. So I
pretty much
raved about your books. And that was back when you used to do those little monologues. You had just the Nick Goss.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I went on, and at this point I'm a super fan of the books. I'm so excited that you're Christian and you're conservative and you're out of the closet with it, you know? And
careful with the out of the closet.
You're out of the closet, Christian.
I was never in a closet.
Right. Yes.
Everyone, just saying.
Yes.
Out of the confessional booth.
So
that's worse.
Sorry to interrupt your story.
No, it's fine.
Me.
I understand. I say out of the closet if you're not shy about being conservative and Christian.
Not at all. Not at all.
No. So that first monologue that I watched you do, it was you were talking about being a homeschool dad, and the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah.
And it was you and Rayana's anniversary. So it's just me sitting there, and I'm like, this is the best. And then you had the other show, The Goslings, and I'm like, there is 2. There's 2 of them. I didn't care what you guys were talking about. I'm just like, I'm here for it, whatever it is. And then you started the Patreon, and I was like, I'm down. And so
you were our first patron.
I was the first patron.
So in our promo, when I like say what and. His character says, "We have more than one." It's all because of you.
You are the one.
You were the first.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and it was so funny because the perk back then was live chat Discord, but I missed that because I was just like, "Whatever you guys are doing, I'm down. Let's do it."
Yeah.
So I signed up for Patreon, and I watched this show, and then afterward was the Discord chat, and so I'm, you know, listening, do my dishes and all this, and then it's time for the Discord chat, and I just think that I'm going to watch you guys some more, and then it starts and you guys go, how's it going? And I was like,
the camera comes on.
Like, hear me? And you went, yeah. And I went,
oh, yeah. we were new to Discord. We were new to that whole thing. We were just saying, we can figure it out. We'll just do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Didn't realize we'd be
do it live.
Yeah,
awesome.
ambushing our guests in their homes.
It was great.
And I think we only had one really successful Discord hang.
Yeah.
And then I think we tried it a couple times afterwards, and you know, and having this conversation, maybe that's what it was, because like afterwards we're always like, man, no one's joining us in the Discord. Maybe we shouldn't have the Discord anymore. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe like we were ambushing people in their homes.
Yeah, and we're like, is it at the wrong time? Are we not doing it right? It just
I think it's too late for a lot of people eventually. Yeah. Those East Coast grandmas.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's all been such a fun ride.
It has been fun. Sherry Hooper, that's Mimi. That's my mother-in-law.
Ah.
She's got the kiddos right now. She says, "Fine, I'm lurking. Hello." She's a lurker. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very good. And Tricky says you need to write about gay dinosaurs.
Yeah.
What's
the thing with the gay dinosaurs?
Don't know. Just sounded funny.
The first
Yeah.
3 were legit, right? British Antichrist,
Yeah.
finger painting with AI,
Yeah.
Wacky and Waco.
Mm-hmm.
All those things are related to guests that we have had or will have soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we thought,
What's just something absurd and
Yeah,
silly and
let's just
funny?
throw gay dinosaurs
Yeah.
in there. Why not?
Gay dinosaurs.
It's weird and
Yeah.
absurd, and it's right up our alley.
It's 100%.
There's
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
be a paleontologist out there that has a theory.
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense now since
Guaranteed.
Cleopatra is black, so
Right.
of course,
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
dinosaurs were gay.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
They're turning the freaking frogs gay.
So I wanted to. Oh gosh, I know there was a couple topics you wanted to talk about.
We gotta
Yeah.
do the fratricide story first.
Oh, there's a fratricide. Okay, first of all, before we went live, Jerry, you were telling us about how you tried to kill your brother.
Yeah.
I want to hear that story,
Mm-hmm.
and then I want to hear about your channel. Tell everyone what your YouTube channel is all about.
Nick wants some ideas, basically.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay. Which part? The brother? Okay. So
Yeah.
how we got on this topic was I call myself the little sister the Goslings never asked for because I found them and I was like, we're gonna start a revolution.
Yeah.
I had big
Yes.
plans,
Something
and
for that.
so I was huge fans of their books, and I just would message them all. Remember that? Like you're at work, and I'm like, "Hey guys, hey Inklings, what's going on? Here's a meme." And
Yep.
so I was just constantly nagging them with all this book stuff and just not anything. So anyway, they're my brothers. We were talking about that, but I have 3 brothers, and my youngest ruined my life when he was born. And so, we're wonderful friends now, and he has forgiven me. But from the day he was born, I stopped talking to my parents and just
That's the
plotted
first
ways to
red flag.
I could 100% believe that, actually. Yeah.
plotted ways to get rid of him. And so one of these ways was I was in first grade, and I remember this like it was yesterday. My teacher, she was talking about seatbelts, okay? And she was like, you have to make sure you're wearing your seatbelt because, if you don't have it on and the door opens, she goes, like you're going to die. So my first grade mind takes that as if the door opens and your seatbelt is not on,
You're
you
dead.
practically die, okay?
Yeah.
So we would take turns sitting in the front seat, okay? And so this day, it was my turn to sit in the front. I told Mom, don't worry, I'm going to put Walt in the back. I got this. And so I put him in the back.
You're like 7. You're like 7 years old, 7, 8, something like that. Okay.
So if you don't believe in natural sin.
Yeah.
So I set him in a seat, no seatbelt. We had a Ford Aerostar. So it has a sliding door.
Mhm.
Like I just leave it a little bit open. Okay.
Oh, that is conniving.
It's worse. So I sit in the front seat. Here we go, Mom. Let's go. What I did not factor in is that we live on a hill. Okay. So Mom starts backing down the driveway and the door slides off the car.
Slides off the car.
Slides off the car.
Oh man.
Like falls off.
It did not go according to plan at all. But she didn't know it was me until I was an adult.
There is a statute of limitations. Yes.
I've had adult confessions of childhood sins too,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you thought that if the door opened and the seatbelt was undone, you win.
He was done.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No more little
know.
brother to steal your thunder.
I know.
Yeah.
That is
It's
that's
terrible.
that's
Deeply disturbing.
that's pretty sinister. I have
Yeah.
to say. That's
Well,
pretty
it's been
sinister.
nice talking to you, Jay. We're losing signal here. It's,
It's Luciferian.
That's
It's
kind of what I think about your
Luciferian,
idea. Yeah.
The Lord has pulled me from the pit.
That
I
is-
set myself in.
What was it about having a baby brother that got you so worked up?
Oh,
Yes, Stewie.
Okay, so this is disturbing. It was just a natural hatred. Okay, like, I just hated looking at him. I hated the way he talked. I hated his name. Like just everything about him. But now I love him. I even love his name.
The way he sucked
No.
his pacifier,
Yeah.
little rodent.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The way
Let
he
me
took
talk about
mom
it now,
and
I'm
dad
like,
away
"Fuck."
from me. Made Christmases suck.
Yes.
You
All
know?
the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
No. I was just wicked.
And all of a sudden, it's all about
all
the
were.
baby. I thought I was the baby.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So tell us about your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Tell everyone what that's all about.
Okay. Well, yeah. So the Lord has saved me. PSA. So, I'm no longer wicked, thankfully. Well, I am, but I'm redeemed, and I'm not as wicked. Yeah. So that whole thing that I told you about with the woke kid literature, it's all woke. You know, like right now, Target's in the news. All of these like explicit books are in the news, but they're all that way. All of the new books that are out to the children in libraries and bookstores and their book fair, and they're all written by radical liberals. Okay, so even if it's not explicitly woke, it's still written by an author that has that mindset. So I am not for book banning unless it's just complete porn. All right.
Right.
But I want Christians and conservatives books to at least be on the shelf next to them.
Can't
I
have
don't
it.
know if that's going to happen, but the reason for my channel is just taking these great self-published authors like you guys, and I've found so many that are just wonderful, have written wonderful, amazing stories, who you're never going to find them in the bookstore simply because they're not going to be published. They're not going to get a book deal.
Nope.
They won't. Yeah, it's I remember having the thought like 20 years ago with Fox News, because like it's the one channel that's moderately conservative.
Yeah.
You know, and it bills itself as being a conservative channel. But it's the same thing here, where like they were always trying to, you know, hate on it and shut it down. And it's just like truth has no seat in an amphitheater of lies.
Yeah.
Because all the people telling lies, they know that they won't be able to stand up to one light beam of truth.
Yeah.
So they'll never allow anything like that, you know, because all it takes is one for people to be like, oh, wait, this house of cards of, you know, diversity, wokeness, and, you know, godlessness. Like, oh, this isn't what it's about anymore. You know, they can't allow that.
Yeah.
They can't allow a single drop in the phalanx. So like no one ever has a chance of that. You know.
And would you say that if you're not a woke author or your book isn't woke, would you say that there's any chance whatsoever that your book's going to get traditionally published if you're a children's author?
Well, yeah, but not by one of the big five or similar. So big five publishers, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Hachette, Penguin Random House, and Macmillan. Okay, those are the ones that have wide distribution. Okay, and so everyone knows those books because those book deals are the ones that become the famous books. You know, no, a conservative or Christian is not going to be. They're not going to get a book deal with them.
Yeah, unless they're controlled opposition. And you know, the sad thing is, like, I see it in like part of my day job, like in the performing arts. One of the places is a theater, and it's really funny because there's this conservative channel, this conservative like political news channel online called Real America's Voice, and I'd never heard of them. But they wanted to do an event there, and whoever's in charge, I haven't figured out who it is yet, who's responsible for this decision, but whoever's in charge told them no, because the theater is a 501c3, or they're owned by a 501c3, and they can't do anything overtly political, you know. But here's the funny thing, that
is true.
Sure, but at the same time, here's like how far the Overton window has shifted and how people like are smell blind to this sort of thing nowadays. At the same time, they are currently running a Dolly Parton play but it's like gay Dolly Parton. It's about a gay guy who is like, you know, Dolly Parton is like his genie in a bottle who has like helped him discover himself. And it's like, wait, are you political or are you not? Because they obviously don't see that as political. That's politically safe, you know?
Yep.
But what's funny about it, this is how retarded it is. They got people leaving every show, like intermission, middle of the show, because
they won't stand for it.
Yeah, because people want to, like, first of all, like, you're in like the heart of the most conservative part of the state, and and like, who wants to see Dolly Parton? Well, probably like a bunch of white Christian conservative families.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is for it to be, you know, gay Dolly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You're profaning
homo Dolly.
You're profaning her image.
Yeah.
She's a national treasure, but to the state, she's a big deal.
And so, like, if they had that, like, Real America's Voice people come on, dude, that would be like gangbusters for all of downtown Franklin. Every restaurant would sell out. Every bookstore would sell out.
Oh yeah,
because conservatives are typically successful people.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Well, it was like back during when McCain was running against Obama,
mm-hmm.
or when Romney was running against Obama. Romney couldn't go and speak in any of the LDS churches. He couldn't go into any churches and speak for that reason, because it jeopardized their 501c3 status.
Even
but
though
Obama went to like every church.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there was no risk there.
Mm-hmm.
No risk there
Yeah.
of losing 501c3 status, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, because I was like, wait a minute, I don't. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
They're not doing it because they're not supposed to, but they're doing it even though they're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are no consequences here, but I
not.
suspect that if it happened over here, there might be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
because
maybe
they're
I'm wrong.
protected.
Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, Chris Caps is in the chat.
Hey, Chris
What's up,
Cat.
Chris? Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for watching tonight.
Yeah.
You guys have the best chat. You guys have the best chat.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The people in our chat are the coolest.
Yeah.
The best
are.
chat community.
It's the like when you go to another video, like you see a video that you think is going to be interesting, and you go and it's live, and then you're in the chat. It's like people arguing about the video. You know, like just just nobody's talking to each other. They're just like shouting these random on Twitter, you know? And I'm like, this is so wonderful. Like everybody for the most part, everybody enjoys each other in your chat.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah. Everybody's cool. Everybody has a good time.
There's been a couple times where someone tried to, you know,
derail.
Yeah, make some waves and cause trouble in the chat. It didn't last long. I mean, our chat community set that person straight and said, "Hey, we're trying to get along here.
Yeah,
you know, be a part of it, or or please stop talking." And they didn't, so they got humiliated. And there are some people that we removed, but it's so rare, so rare. Yeah,
it's awesome. You guys have a great chat.
Well, so back to your channel. So you're interviewing authors, right? You're interviewing authors. You're bringing to the public forum, if you will.
Yeah.
Non-woke authors that have all of the authors you've interviewed been Christians, or are there some non-Christians that are also just not woke?
I think I pretty much think everybody's Christian. I don't know if there was one that he's not so much conservative, but I don't care. He's a Christian and his book's not woke, so that was fine.
Cool.
I'm open to have a non-Christian on there if they're, you know, conservative, but it just hasn't happened yet. But everybody is a middle grade or YA author, because that's just kind of my thing that I'm trying to find, you know, for the next generation, just because I know that there's nothing out there for them, and they are our next generation, obviously. So they're just being brainwashed. It's kind of good though, all this that's happening, because like with AI, and then now you just can't believe anything anymore. You know, it's going to get to the point where everything you see on social media, you won't be able to believe any of it, because the fake and the real are so much alike that everybody's going to be forced to not believe any of this stuff that's on the internet.
And I was already kind of there.
Yeah.
It was kind of a nail in the coffin for me. You know, I was talking with someone earlier today, and he, like a lot of people, his side gig has been almost eliminated by AI.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, almost eliminated. And eventually it probably will. I mean, like a lot of jobs, a lot of people trying to do that side hustle.
Yeah.
Working in the gig economy. AI is coming for you, especially if you're a creator. It's coming for you first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Well, I know if I care what you say, but like, what, I know it's taken away the editing, and those kind of things. But as far as books go, everybody's getting so excited about these books written by AI because they're so good and it's so hard to tell. But no, because you don't have an author to go connect with. And that's the whole point. None of us get excited about, we love Narnia, but we quote Lewis. Nobody's like, you know what I mean? Like, it points to the art is the author.
Yeah.
Will die on that hill. And not just because I write books, but because I like when I found your books, I was excited about you guys,
Yeah.
what you're doing, what your art says about yourself, what this is, But if there's nothing there, it's like going to buy something at the dollar store,
The art is the author. I
Actually,
love that. Did you coin that?
Yes.
That is awesome.
I don't know if you coined this version of it, but I wrote it down from when you left it in the chat one time. It says art is the artist.
Okay.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah. And flawless is lawless.
Flawless is lawless.
I like that. Yeah, and tell people about that. Tell people about your recent maneuver to kind of stick it in the eye of AI.
Yes. Okay. So I got this from you, Nick, when you said we always have the almighty typo. Okay. And everybody loves AI so much because it's so flawless,
Yeah, I like
this flawless is lawless. And the reason is because it's stealing humanity. We're giving away our humanity to robots. Okay. And so what you guys are talking about is on my recent book 4 of the Brumbltide series, Brumbltide and the Queen's Doctor story. In the spine, on the spine here, I have Brumbltide and the Queen's Doctor story, but I have a semicolon instead of a apostrophe. So that it's my little protest to it's a typo. But it's an on-purpose typo because it's my
intentional.
Yes, it's my protest.
As John Bernardo might say, it's just a typo.
It's just a typo.
But this is not just a typo. This is a protest.
Yeah, I heard what you said, baby sister. That's why I said the thing I said.
That's my job. My job is the baby sister to Nat.
Yeah, you're not my mom.
You're not my mom.
I'm telling you, he's gonna rewrite the map on how I interacted with Jay.
I
And I'm really looking
love
forward
so
to
much
it.
that Luciferian has now become a
Oh, that's
teaser.
right. We have you to thank for that.
Yeah.
Thank.
Mm-hmm.
No, you
Figure that out. That's why.
Luciferian.
And I still don't have one.
You don't have one?
I still don't have one. I'm exploring. I'm still exploring.
The best we've come up for him so far is what's a dune.
It should it should be this.
Everything's under control. Situation normal.
You recognize that quote? You recognize that at all?
I didn't hear it. No, I
Oh.
didn't. Oh, Dune? Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Can you hear this?
Everything's under control. Situation normal.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
from Dune?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
What is from?
Let me do another one. Boy, I bet Gabe's in the chat. Gabe Bello music.
Yep.
I bet he's going crazy right now.
Hey,
He knows it.
Gabe?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I don't know.
No?
No.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It's Star Wars?
Yeah. Well,
No.
Gabe's. Oh, Gabe. Oh, he's It's from Star Wars. It's Han Solo, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to keep in mind, I was like severely mentally ill for 2 decades.
You mentioned trying to kill your brother.
Yeah. I mean,
You mentioned the fratricide.
That was actually before
Oh.
severe
okay.
mental illness, but it's definitely showing signs.
Okay. I love how you went quiet, like you wouldn't talk to your parents when you were scheming, like Stewie,
Yes.
like a girl Stewie.
I know. I have this memory of like my dad lifting me up, looking through the hospital door at my mom with the
And
new
you're just
baby,
like
and
this
I'm like,
the whole time. You just go like limp,
love
like
it.
a baby goes, like a kid goes limp in protest.
You come
know?
up and you're like,
I could see Jay Reese like in the corner, just staring at the crib with her bangs hanging over her face, like Samara from The Ring. You know, just your poor brothers.
I know, just the one. It's just one. And we're friends now. He's probably my favorite of all of them now.
Yeah.
because you let him survive. He survived.
Yeah.
He's
Now you
tough.
can be
He's a
friends.
tough guy.
Will Bintaker is in the chat. Also, there was
What's up, Will? What's up,
Hi.
Gabe?
and Ann Teller.
Yeah, and Teller. Good comment. It's also a big social engineering project from the top down and financing from billionaires. So it's not a grassroots movement coming from the people. This is being forced on the population. 100%.
Mhm. Yep.
Very true, Anne.
And the uneducated just drink the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Richard Gross is in the chat. What's up, Richard?
Hey, Richard.
Well, even the
Good.
educated is what's ridiculous. It's like super powerful people just like destroying everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they probably see how they might personally benefit
Oh, yeah.
from some of the stuff. You know.
Yeah. They create a neo-proletariat.
Yeah.
The teeming masses and eliminate the middle class, and then we can all live in our 15-minute smart cities
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
and take mass transportation.
That's disgusting.
Gross.
Mhm.
Gross.
Oh, you want to talk about disgusting, Angela? I mean, you're gonna have to go outside in that world.
I've been
You're
going
gonna have
outside
to-
lately.
What?
I've been going outside lately for minutes a day. Minutes.
Whoa!
Wow.
Do you like
Yes.
every day? Are you like, okay, I'm gonna do 1 minute more?
No.
It's like how long you could do a plank. You know? It's J. Reese Bradley planks is just her going outside.
Have you made it to the
No.
mailbox? Have you made it to the mailbox?
Yeah, but it's because it's paved with cement. You know, I'm okay as long as there's cement,
Yeah.
you know, that I can stand on. But I've been going out to check my apple trees.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I think I
All
saw a
right.
picture of that.
Yes.
Yes,
7 years of nothing. No, not even a leaf. And now they're blossoming. 3 apples. And I just see it as some
Have
sort
you
of
named them?
sign.
Have you named the apples?
I haven't, but I do. They're developing personalities, each one.
Do they talk to you?
No.
Okay.
Jason says they don't have personalities, but it's just one kind of looks like kind of dumpy, you know, kind of like Gus from Gus from Cinderella. Remember
Mhm.
the fat
Yeah. Oh yeah.
mouse?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I should name it Gus.
Fat Gus.
That's
There you go.
Gus.
Mhm.
And I
Well, there's a Gus. There's a Gus in Brumbltide.
There is one. Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
He's a good character.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I remember writing Gus and thinking like I'm for sure gonna get pushback on him because he's a male, an older male that's like kind of helping the girl, you know, and that's just like a no now. Like all men are bad, and there
Yeah.
can't be any good male role models, and they can't have any sort of wisdom or
Mhm.
anything. So
Actually, I was just watching an Andrew Tate interview about that before I came over here, and he was talking about that. He was like, you know, society doesn't want men. Society wants whoever's in charge of this society wants weak men,
yeah,
because weak men. The irony is that weak men are perceived. In one hand, they're the most controllable because you can beat them down and get them to, you know, self-delete and all this stuff. But on the other hand, weak men, in a way, are the most dangerous because they have no emotional regulation.
Mhm.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
know?
They overreact.
Right.
If they react, they
Yeah.
overreact.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
true. It's
true.
kind of like it's kind of like the Disneyfication
Mm-hmm.
of kids literature is what's happened.
Oh, wow.
Basically, Disney has set the standard
Oh,
for that.
yeah.
where they're you know, you have to have, and there's nothing wrong with a strong female lead if you're writing a story about a
Yeah.
strong female lead. That's great.
Yeah, sure.
But it's verboten to have some sort of positive male
Sure.
lead or character
Mhm.
in the story. You know,
Yeah.
and that's
Frozen
not,
ruined that.
yeah.
Let it go.
That's when it started. It started with
Mhm.
Frozen, which
Oh, man.
by itself at the time was a great film,
Mhm.
but it kind of set a new direction for everything else that's followed.
Mhm.
And it's really,
But
it's a
the
shame.
Brumbltide series is kind of meant to combat that in a lot of ways, right, Jay?
Combat the like the Elsas and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't write it that way
Really? Okay.
because when I wrote the first book, I didn't know about all of this problem of wokeness.
Really? Oh, that's
No.
cool.
It
So
was
it
when
was
it was
written
on
from a
submission
pure
that I was like,
place.
wait a minute, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. So it wasn't written with that objective in mind. It was coming from an authentic creative place.
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah. And I never write from a stance of let me just put this message in here. You know, it's I kind of lead with I know you guys do that too, like you just lead with your imagination kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue, is because I'm a Christian and conservative, those kind of thoughts come out in my stories. Okay. So when you have a radical liberal, even if they're not trying to lead with a message, which a lot of them do, okay, but even if they're not, then all of that is coming out just naturally, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, I'm not even for book banning. I just want ours to be able to be there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time seeing AI be able to do that. You know, I don't think AI would ever be able to write a Christian novel where someone would read it and be like, "Oh man, this is really great."
There'd be something in there that would give it away.
Oh, there'd be some major tells.
Yeah.
Major tells.
Yeah.
I was thinking about AI today too, and like I always am, because I'm scared to death of it. I hate it.
Yeah, me too.
And what I realized, what actually makes a human writer, what makes someone a writer, is the guilt they feel for not writing and the procrastination.
Oh yeah.
Which
tell
is
me about
something
it.
AI will never be able to achieve. It'll
No.
never be able to achieve
Yeah.
the epic levels of procrastination.
Yeah,
and
because
guilt.
it's got all the time in the world.
But it can do it instantly. Why
Mhm.
wouldn't it?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is a.
So I was thinking for my
irony,
next
isn't it?
book, I might say this book is the product of months of procrastination.
and just gross humanity.
Yeah. And ego shattering
Uh-huh.
depression and guilt.
There you go.
It could have been brought to you sooner by AI, but I don't believe in that.
We got a couple of really good comments here that you guys would appreciate. Gabe says authentic creativity is just naturally anti-woke. And then Tricky tagged up on that and said, because woke is anything but authentic. I think that's very true.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
Very.
that's strong. That'll
Very
preach
Why?
Tricky.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
woke stuff, it definitely is just like I just saw the one, and it is published by a big publisher. And it's the Pride ABCs, you know. It's just
I haven't seen it. I don't even want to see it.
Don't even see it. It's so ridiculous. But it's so obviously not for fun, you know.
Right.
They didn't care at all about a child like having fun reading. It was
Right.
just so
About learning their
rub this
ABCs.
into your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Shouldn't it
Yeah.
just be about maybe just learning the ABCs?
For sure. Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But they're wanting.
Laura Lee is in the chat. She
up,
said
Laura?
it's her first time here,
Nice.
which is awesome. So I wanted to welcome her.
Hey, Laura.
And she asks, "What is the topic tonight?" Good question.
Everything. Whatever the chat
Yeah.
wants to talk about.
J. Reese Bradley. We're primarily focusing on J. Reese Bradley and her series Brumble-Tide that she has written, her middle grade fiction series. And would you call it fantasy?
Yes,
How would you class? Yeah.
definitely fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Potter fan, so I guess it would kind of be urban fantasy.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah. So it's like
Mhm.
chick Harry Potter.
It's not chick. I mean, I got children dying in these books, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some
Yeah.
Scary and dark stuff. Christian loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
he
lot
loves
of boy fans, you
Yeah.
know, like not for me, but for the
That's good
book.
that's good to talk about because
Yeah.
the protagonist is a girl, right? If I
Yes.
remember correctly. Yeah. So that's good to talk about that.
Girl.
Like a lot of boys really dig it. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and yeah, she just was a girl. You know how that is, like your protagonist, they're who comes out, you know? And
Yeah.
it started as a boy because I love Harry Potter so much. And it started as a boy, but it just wasn't clicking, you know? And so I had to do the girl and yeah, it's been great. And she's so funny. My favorite chapter, I think, is in book 3, Pathetic. It's a chapter called Pathetic. And she's so intimidated, but the whole book 3 is called Brumble-Tide and the Triad Champion, and it's like of like Hunger Games kind of at like an Olympics, deadly Olympics at
Nice.
the castle, and she's just so terrible, and everybody, she gets to go first and do this tower climbing, and she just can't do it. Like, do you remember like doing pull-ups in PE?
Oh, or field
Like,
day.
I remember trying.
I hated field day.
Hated it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had that in mind, and Maggie like goes to climb the tower and she can't even make it like 2 grooves up. And she feels bad, but then she was the first one to go. So literally every other student goes the whole way.
Mm.
And it ends with, I alone was the only one to not make it.
I think we can all identify with that.
So good. I know, I love stuff like that. But the books are about a magical castle where the general public comes to be treated as royalty for free. So everybody gets their own gown and crown and royal feast and all this stuff. And Maggie ends up in this castle and starts to realize there's something like wicked going on.
Nice.
And I was inspired by I wrote it right after this like great spiritual awakening
Really?
of like terrible mental illness, and God just did so much there. But I realized what an abomination, things like Joel Osteen are, like those kind of
Yes.
churches where it's like
Preach.
all focusing on
Yes. Uh-huh.
the royal, like the
Mhm.
person, and they don't care at all about the Lord. And it's all so close to the truth, but because it's missing the point completely, it's a great abomination. And so that's what Emily Castle is. And it is the cover up for Brumbletide, the true and good kingdom. And come to find out, the magic of the abomination castle is all from the slaying of these magical creatures called the Snickerlings.
Oh yes.
They're almost Cupid-like creatures.
Yeah, they're little children with wings, and they're immortal, and they're flying around this castle because it's all very magical. And come to find out, that's where the magic of the castle is coming from. And I was kind of drawing from like abortion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like how we're even like technology, from the embryos and that kind of thing. Like, so many, we're just sacrificing our children for ourselves.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so I hope this doesn't get us banned. I didn't even think about any of that. You think all this will get us? Okay. Yeah.
If it does, it does.
I'm
Whatever.
so sorry. But yeah,
If it does, it does. It's okay.
that's where, but it's, but you wouldn't know all that. Like a child wouldn't
Right.
connect it.
It's not going to scar a child.
Right,
It's-
right.
The adult could read into the subtext and the metaphor. Yeah.
I got another comment. Greg Walker commented a few minutes ago. He says, "Has there been any discussion about what a Turing test for published books?"
Yeah,
like.
that's a good point.
The Turing test.
Yeah.
What do you
What is
mean?
the Turing test?
It's from Blade Runner, and it's
Oh.
a test they would give the replicants to measure them for empathy to see if they were human or not. Because otherwise, you had a really hard time telling the difference.
I
So
like that.
it's basically a test of like whether this is a human or a robot.
Wow.
Oh,
cool.
wow.
And I can't remember if Philip K. Dick came up with that, or if it precedes it. I think it precedes him, but yeah, that's a good point, man. What would be the Turing test for? Maybe it's putting a semicolon where an apostrophe is supposed
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Here you go.
You passed the test.
Yeah.
You passed the test.
Mhm.
You screwed up.
Samuel
You are
Jansen. Samuel Jansen says AI cannot be original.
Yeah,
It is like Data solving an original Sherlock Holmes crime.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, it comes from us, obviously. So it's still taking from humans, but because it's building and building and building at lightning speed, it's becoming unhuman.
Mhm.
But without us, it wouldn't even exist. And I don't know why we're doing this to our. We're just depraved. We're depraved.
Yep. Sorry, we just saw this. I just saw a comment from a guy. Suck a duck is the account's name. It says, "Y'all suck." Here's to you, suck a duck.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When one of my
Thanks for helping the algorithm, moron.
For sure. I had one that said, bye frauds.
By frauds.
I was so excited because I think that once you start getting those like terrible comments, you made it.
Right.
And
I mean,
so I was like,
truly.
Bye, frauds! Yes! This is
Yes!
great!
I know.
Pay attention.
Dude,
Thank
it's like
you.
when it's like when we had our last Gary Wayne live stream thing, and we got that one comment from the dude who was accusing us of being money changers.
Oh, yeah.
Who are
Like,
these people? That's so
Yeah.
good. Oh my
Uh,
gosh. You might be
Sure.
amazing.
That's the first time in my life anybody's ever accused me of being a money changer.
That's so good. Oh my
Have
God.
at it,
Yeah,
buddy.
go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you some questions. We call them. We're thinking of like this is our Thirsty Thursday live stream,
Yes.
and
Your midweek morphine drip of the Gosling.
That's right. That's right. Where it's a little more engaging with the chat.
Mhm.
Sometimes we have a guest like J. Reese Bradley. Sometimes it's just me and Jonathan.
Yeah.
But we wanted to start highlighting some of our patrons, and by running through a series of quick questions that we want to read the question to you, and then you answer the questions and do it all within 5 minutes.
Okay.
So,
Good luck.
and I sent you the questions earlier.
You did. I know the
Because-
answers.
I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is the first time it's a test run, so if
I'm
we're
ready.
just over 5 minutes, that's fine.
I
All
got
right.
this.
First of all,
We'll send you the bill.
tell us one of your favorite jokes.
Okay. A whale walks into a bar and says,
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
That was actually pretty good. Kudos to you for that. If you could,
Do you do that? Please tell me you tell that joke like once a month to the kids just to annoy them.
It's in my book. It's in
Is
Brahma
it?
and the Daughter of Eve.
did you
I
tell
don't
that?
think it makes
Did
sense
you
to
tell that
anyone.
joke in your adult Sunday school class by chance?
Yes.
You should. That's a great icebreaker. Great icebreaker.
So good.
Oh, that was good. I was gonna. It reminds me of the
We should end with that one from now on.
German. Have you heard my German knock knock joke?
Say it again. Okay, yeah. No, I haven't.
Have you-
I haven't. Tell me.
You haven't heard my German knock knock joke?
No.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
We will ask the questions.
Oh my god.
I think it was one of my kids that actually told me that. Anyways,
It's pretty good.
Oh my
if you could
God.
be born in any decade, or if you could if you could relive any decade of your life, or maybe not even your life, if you could relive any decade, what decade would it be and why?
Okay, 80s, but not because of the same reasons as my brothers. Because it was just so magical with my being little. I was born in 82, and my dad would like get me up in the middle of the night and take me to Waffle House, and he had a paper route,
Cool.
and I'd go, and it was just that memory of like, the smell of the papers and being out at night with dad, and
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, that's cool.
So good. Yeah.
That's such a great answer. Very cool. What is the nicest thing you've ever seen a stranger do?
Okay. I was trying to think of things I've seen people do for other people, and I guess I'm just not paying attention. So the only thing I could think of, the best thing I could think of was I worked at Waffle House 6 years and then Starbucks 7. So those are my two main
Wow.
careers. Okay. And and just the people that would treat us with dignity,
Yeah.
like instead of when you're like, hey, how can I help you? And they're like, may I please have, and they just don't even say hey or anything. Just the people that really treat you like a human. It was just so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I could totally see you working at both of those places.
Mm-hmm.
Even Waffle House, I have all my teeth.
There was a day when it was a high class place. Is all I'm saying.
There was
look-
a day when Waffle House was a high class.
Yeah, well, it
day.
depends on what area of town
It
you're
was
in. But yeah,
1989.
Yeah.
And we have very fun memories of Waffle House.
Yeah.
lots
with
of time
Dad.
spent there.
Yeah.
I
Very,
worked
very
for
fun.
Starbucks for 6 years, and I have probably
Did
spent
you?
about that much time as a customer in Waffle House.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Sure
I
enough.
didn't know you worked at
I
Starbucks.
think we talked about that at one point. I think we talked
Yes.
about that once.
Shannon has
Um,
too. She's in the chat, by the way. Okay.
Oh, Shannon has too
Yep.
at Starbucks.
Mhm.
Get out of here.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's awesome.
She
Hi,
said
Shannon, by the way.
your yodel was marvelous. You know,
It was
when
a whale.
yeah, well, you know, tomato, potato, you know. when you were doing that, the first thing I thought of was like, I wonder what Shannon's reaction to this would be.
I can't wait to go back and watch this. It'll be great. Okay, who is your greatest hero, living or dead, and why?
Martin Luther. Martin Luther, he's the most relatable. He was
Nice.
silly, mentally ill,
Yeah,
but God used him to save the church.
awesome.
Most
Great
relatable
answer.
hero.
Yeah.
Great answer. All right, I bet the Catholics are losing their minds right
Listen,
now. Hang
I
on,
got
hang in
called
there,
a-
guys.
I got called a fool and a mirror worshiper like Luther the other day on Facebook by a Catholic.
A
So good.
mirror worshiper.
A mirror worshiper
Mirror.
like Luther is what they call me. I was like, thank you. That's a new one.
I failed to make the connection there.
Ah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not, worshiping statues of saints.
Mirror worshiper, as in like a vanity thing, like you're worshiping the
That's
self.
what they, yeah,
I
they
guess
thought
is that
Luther was all
okay.
into himself and, and full of pride. And so that's why he ruined everything.
Mm.
That's what they think. So.
ruined everything for Catholics. The rest of us cool people.
He ruined a lot of things for
We've been
the
coasting.
popes and the powers that be. I mean, you have to at least, respect that. He was a
Yeah.
disruptor for sure. At the
Yeah.
very least.
To the
Good
glory
for
of
him.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the glory of God.
Yeah.
All right, Olympics. If you could participate in the Olympics, what country
Okay.
would you play for, and what would be your sport?
Okay. USA
All right.
and figure skating. Believe it or not, that was my sport.
Are you a really good figure skater?
Really? You can
Yes.
figure skate?
Yes.
Wow.
Can you really?
No,
That's cool.
I know Georgia. Okay, Duluth, Georgia is where I lived, and they just happened
Okay.
to build an ice forum right by my house, and so I'm like
Hmm.
the one Southern girl who, I think Shannon did too. Maybe we have so much in common. But anyways, I really went far with it, and I even got a medal. So
Did you really?
Wow.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
thanks. Yeah, but anyway,
All right.
it would be for the U.S. because
Really?
because we're
Still?
still the best.
Are we?
Yeah, she confirmed it in the chat. Yep.
Okay.
She
All
said
right.
she also did figure skating. That's
Yes.
awesome. I really want to get. I have been angling for this for probably about 6 months here. I want to get both of you on at the same time because you're like best buds, but
Yeah.
you're totally different in your conversational dispositions.
Yes.
And so I'm so like potentially morbidly curious to see what it's like with J. Reese Bradley and Mama Shay OC in the chat together. So
Well, we're always in the chat together.
or excuse me, in the live stream. Yeah,
that
just actually interacting. I
would
think
be very
I don't think
interesting.
we'd have to do a thing. I think we do the toast and then just sit back and let you two go.
Yes.
Turn off
Whatever.
our mic.
Yeah,
Just go. Just go.
yeah.
Awesome.
Kick up, take a nap. You
All
know.
right. Last question. If you were stranded on a desert island for the rest of your life and you could Bible excluded, what one book would you choose?
Okay. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nice.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And tell me why.
Okay.
Serious
And don't
My
say
favorite
it's your
thing-
favorite. Go deeper.
So good. Okay, so that's where we meet the Marauders. Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs.
Mhm.
Do you know who they are?
I don't.
Okay. They are Harry's dad, who
Mhm.
is the stag.
Yeah.
Sirius Black. Is,
Yeah.
he's my
Sirius
favorite.
Black.
of everybody.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Same.
They're all friends. Okay, so Mooney Wormtail is what's his name that ends up being the traitor. The and what's Wormtail? What's his name? And then Padfoot.
Pendleton or Pennington is the little he's the rat like guy.
He's the
Isn't
rat.
he the one who becomes the rat that Harry that
Wormtail. Yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
somebody's gonna
um,
say it.
Ron has around with him. I remember the movie. It's like the
Yes.
first really good Harry Potter movie.
It's the best book too. Yeah.
I believe it.
So they're all friends. Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, and they're named that because that is their animal. They're animagus, so they
Yeah.
change into animals. But the one Remus Lupin is the
Yeah.
werewolf. So they all kind of band together to protect him from himself and from
Mhm.
to protect everybody from him because they're all friends. So I love the friendship and also the legacy because that's where Harry and his friends kind of get their inspiration. They have the Marauders map.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Magical map that appears and tells you, where you are in the castle. And
it also shows where other people are as they're, moving around. You can see where they are.
So
That's
good.
really cool. Yeah.
He gets the cloak of invisibility, and Hermione gets the time turner in that book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the book, but she does get the time turner.
I remember it from
Could
the
be wrong.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably right. I'm probably wrong.
And the hippogriff in the end.
Yeah.
Is that the Prisoner of Azkaban?
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. And is that also where we meet Luna Lovegood, the spacey chick?
I don't know.
She's great in the movie.
This is
She's
my
fantastic.
favorite. Yeah. She's so awesome.
But that's also where we're introduced to the patronesses, which is like the spirit animal that comes out of their wand when
Patronus.
They're in. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so many amazing things that if I was stranded on an island, I could just go into, just take my mind away. Plus, Shannon knows this is going to be hilarious. Like, I have issues with maps. So, when I look at a map, like, I know how to do, like, grids and all, but like, when I look at, like, a real map, I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay?
Just a bunch of lines.
I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, and so, like, the Marauders map, I feel like.
Yeah.
I told Shannon, she was like, "You can't read a map?"
Makes you feel like you're map competent when you're looking at the Marauders map.
Do you have the Marauders map? I can.
Mhm. That's fair.
That's
I think
great.
I do. I think I do have the numbers version of dyslexia. I can't see it. It's like a black math in my mind is like a black square.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It's the worst.
There's this thing, what was it called? I would call it a surfeit of information, but it's basically where you're just looking at a wall of information that is overwhelming. And I was having this talk one time when I worked at Franklin Gun Shop. I go back there, and there's this 80-something-year-old guy named Bill Lacates who used to be the sheriff of Williamson County, and he was, he just worked back there cleaning guns. Super cool guy to talk to. He was DEA before DEA existed in Miami.
Yeah.
Like, the dude's killed more men than hands you've shaken. And he's the coolest guy in the world to talk to. Super measured. He's like Granddaddy. Bodybuilder, weightlifter. And I was back there looking for a shotgun box. And there's just like a wall, literally a wall of empty boxes.
Hundreds.
Literally hundreds.
Yeah.
Yes. On this one wall, just of semi-automatic shotguns.
Oh, wow.
That's how big this place is.
Yeah.
And not a franchise. Like, it was truly something special. And I was just like, Bill, I've been working here for 3 years, dude. Why does this like never get any easier? It never gets any easier, And he was like, yeah, it's the same thing, like, with my son, who's a cop, who's, staring at like all this information on the board that he has to learn sometimes for his classes. Like, it's overwhelming information. It's a wall of info, And so, like, maps can be, certain things can be like that.
Yeah.
And for J. Reese Bradley, it's maps.
Yeah. I feel like that. Did you guys ever watch that? What I guess was like a beauty queen, that she was like, they asked her like, what's the problem with Africa or something, and she's like, they don't have maps. I can't remember what
that
it
was the
was.
solution.
True.
It was so viral because of the answer was so stupid, and I'm like,
well,
I've outed my hidden secret of like
poorly
it
articulated.
reminds me of the Sam Kinison, the comedian Sam Kinison.
Yes.
He was talking about, like, how we're always sending food to feed the hungry in Africa. And he's like, how about one solution is maybe move to where all the food is? Maybe maps are the solution. Maybe they can find the food.
Yeah, maybe send them some maps. Yeah.
So
I
we
can see him doing it.
And then teach them land nav.
It's so funny. Oh my gosh.
You before we let you go, you wanted to talk a little bit about addiction and creativity.
Yes.
Do you,
and I'm okay. Jason's playing video games. I hear him yelling out there. So I'm good. But yes, I did want to talk about that because I am part of the Patreon. So
Yes.
I have seen the Pressfield interview already. So
that won't be out until Sunday for the public.
Yes. So you have to join the Patreon so you can be
That's
like
right.
me and spoil things.
That's right.
But I'm not going to spoil it. But they do talk about creativity and mental illness. Like what was it was creativity and addiction.
Addiction. Yep.
And I appreciated his response. But I'm like, I don't think you've ever been addicted to anything. I felt like that. But cigarettes he has. But cigarettes, they make you addicted to them. But I love Stephen Pressfield, don't get me wrong. Oh my gosh. Like I love the whole interview.
Oh yeah.
So good. But coming from like actual like decades of mental illness and like bulimia, addiction, all of these things, I just had some things to talk about with it because yes, it is a creative mind. Me and Shannon have discussed this. There's something about the creative mind that it's more common that they have ADHD, OCD, all of these things. And it's when he was talking about I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to try not to spill I'm just going to try not to spoil it. But it's just a different brain. You can't control it, and it is great to focus on the art. Okay. But, for anybody who is like thank God I've never been a drug addict, but, addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, have eating disorders, just these terrible things that they're ruining your life. You don't want to feel this way. You don't want to do these actions. They're ruining your life. They do contribute to amazing arts. But I know it's not just my experience that it does not replace the addiction, it's a different, I really do think it's in the DNA, and it's turned on. So, like if you have drugs or alcohol in your family, you're 90% more likely to have, postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, OCD, all of that kind of stuff. And it's triggered by these huge flare-ups with trauma, hormonal change, and big life changes in general, and this is, for people that are feeling powerless, it's because you are powerless. You need help from a professional, and you can live a great life, and still do your art. But I wanted to say that. And yeah.
Do you think your self-actualization with creativity, so you to put it in Pressfieldian parlance, you fighting resistance and doing the work, do you think that cuts back on the temptation for addiction, or is there no change in there, or does it go hand in hand? Does it affect it at all?
Okay, so I think this is what you're asking. For me, it was opposite. So you can kind of start feeling like if you let go of the addiction, then you won't be able to think the thoughts that you're thinking to make the stories or whatever art, because you kind of need that. But when you do get therapy and get the medication, it just makes it to where you're able to do it better. You're still thinking all of those deep creative thoughts and all of that. But it's when we were talking about the 80s, my favorite thing about the 80s as well is that life was just like, my vision was so clear, like you have anxiety and just the pressures of life. You're what I'm talking about? It's like it's just becomes a buzz, and your vision, the world is not as clear to me as it was back then. It was just I was looking at everything crystal clear. I had nothing to think about.
Why do you think that is?
I think for me, since I do have addiction in my family, nothing had happened yet. I was just living in a normal way, and I didn't have anything pressing in on my brain, and it wasn't. None of those triggers had happened yet. The trauma, hormonal change, or big life changes that trigger that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason it is. I mean, because you notice like the artist, the music artist, they're all dying of suicide, and it doesn't have to be that way,
Right.
But it is very common. Also, I was just watching Joe Rogan, and they had Luke Combs on.
Yeah.
I've never been into country music until here lately, but they had Luke Combs on here, and he was talking about having OCD. And I was just having this conversation with Dad. Dad was an alcoholic. I had bulimia for 20 years. Okay. So obviously both of us were crazy. And then Luke Combs was saying he struggled with OCD, and he was, Joe Rogan smokes a lot of marijuana. And Luke Combs was saying, I can't do it because it just makes me paranoid.
Yep.
And it makes us paranoid too.
Yep.
I've never been able to do marijuana,
Same.
not that but I mean, I think it's something with the brain. Like with that type of, if you have, that.
But you know what really did help? Well, first of all, I was on upwards of 1,000 milligrams a day of antidepressants when I was like going through my most depressed state. But then like when I look back on it, that was actually maybe like so far the best time of my life, aside from the 80s in my childhood. Yeah, it was at 2006 to 2008 time frame, 2007 especially. But I was also my most productive.
Yeah,
I was like
writing,
because like pain doesn't have to create art, but it definitely can.
Yeah, it can be an accelerant,
and that it can actually absolutely be like jet fuel on the fire.
Yeah.
And then but the medication, the antidepressants, and the counseling, but for the motivation and the community, because isolation kills. That's one thing that I'm always like pushing for with people is like, no, you got to hang out. You got to hang out with your guy friends. Don't like sit there in isolation. Don't get inside your own head. Call people, you know. And answer the phone when other people call you. Answer, like, I did not want to answer the phone when other people called me, but I think if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
In some cases, but upwards of 1,000 milligrams a day of antidepressants, like I'm sure there was enough like stimulants and Adderall, like, although I didn't take Adderall, to like keep you like deep in the vein of just hyper focusing, especially if you have like a brainless job. You know. And and so like I just that, and then like I'm like you with marijuana. It never, like, I tried it 10 12 years ago, and just to be like, yeah, why not, but it always made me paranoid.
Me too.
But,
and my dad, not that just when you're young and being in,
you gotta everybody experiments, but like really did help, not necessarily with the creativity, but just help with like my anxiety and stress levels and figuring and just being easier with life. Psilocybin.
Oh, I've never done anything like that. I know. I'm not going to.
And it was like controlled.
I don't even know what that is.
Mushrooms. Mushrooms.
Yeah, no.
And so like, well, they're doing a lot of psilocybin studies on PTSD now. They're using it as treatment for PTSD, and it actually, in a controlled environment, it's not like a party drug, and it's not a cure-all. It's not the end-all be-all. It's not a replacement for religion or anything like that. But I think in my very limited experience, it was a therapeutic, beneficial thing that kind of helped like defrag the brain.
Yeah.
That's non-addictive. You don't,
Yeah.
But like, and they say weed's not addictive either. But like, you can get addicted to the experience of it, and
you can if you use it to self-medicate something.
Yeah.
It's behaviorally
well, that's where
addictive.
all of it goes wrong for sure.
Yeah.
And back to addiction and creativity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know with OCD, what you learn in therapy is how the brain works. If it got this, they call it a misfiring. Okay. You see patterns that aren't a threat, but you think that they're a threat. So if you have, let's say you're like, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with the end of the world and like Revelation and, like all of that kind of thing, because I watched The Omen. And I was just, and so everything I watched, everything, just everywhere I went, I would see confirmation to my fears. Okay. So like if somebody has OCD, they have an obsession. So they're seeing, when they watch the news, they're seeing, this is 666. This is the return of the beast right here. Like, like they're seeing all the confirmation to their fears, but the person next to them is seeing none of that. Okay.
Yeah.
And when that keeps going, it makes you crazy. It
does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
But how that is good for story writing is because it makes great story. Story. When you're focused on all this weird stuff and you're able to see all these patterns, you write those patterns down and it becomes like a great fantasy story because there is like patterns and symbols and all these things that we love to hear about, and love to read about. And you can use that craziness to create something that's really interesting for others to read.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, art can be pain transformed. It's that beauty from ashes thing, And I won't say that like pain is required for good art, but again, it's a good accelerant.
Yeah.
And you really can, like, you can, if you can take a negative, traumatic, painful experience and either use it as fuel or turn it into something artistic, like, you want to talk about striking down the darkness, like, that's a hell of a way to do it, Yeah. So cool.
Well, Jay Reese, it's been awesome having you on. Thank you for doing this. I know it's kind of last minute. We were like, let's see if we can get a guest for Thursday.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're always a blast.
Yeah.
You're always fun.
You guys are the best. All right.
You are.
And I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'll be on
AI.
Yeah. We're going to talk AI.
AI.
I'll be ready.
Yes. Okay. I'm so excited.
And authoring.
Yeah.
I mean, just today I saw someone else that I greatly respect. He teaches lots of people about self-publishing and all this stuff. Posted something. He's all about AI now. He's making a training course for authors about how to use AI. I'm like,
what are you doing? Yeah.
Come on, man. Leave the self-publishing alone.
Yeah.
Jeez. But nope. Yeah. I was just so disappointed. I unsubscribed.
Good job. Yeah. Hit him with the yes.
Yep.
I know. Don't support it.
I know.
Okay.
Well, it's been great. Thank you again. And pass along our greetings to Jason. I hope that he's successful in whatever digital quest he's on right now.
Yeah.
And right on. Awesome. And
I hope he kills all the guys.
Yeah.
I hope he blows up all the tanks.
He's at least cussing at him. Real good.
Yeah. Good.
Those are in the background.
That's the good old days, man, of Xbox Live. Just getting called all sorts of names by an 8-year-old, as they're teabagging you in Halo 2. Nothing like it. Those are the glory days. Joseph, by the way, beat me into retirement.
That's right. When he was 14?
10.
Gosh.
Yeah, I think he was like 10. He went down to Florida with his cousins, came back from the summer. I was like, hey, Uncle Jonathan, you want to play Halo? Because he was always this little 3-year-old bobblehead. I want to play the Halo, Goshawk lives for anybody.
Right.
Who's wondering.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, sure, Joe, whatever. Let's go play. I used to be the sniper on my Xbox Live clan, so like, and dude, I couldn't get a single kill. 25 point death match, 1v1, smoked me. I went to bed mad.
Yeah.
I hung up my spurs. He beat me into retirement.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So good. J. Reese Bradley, author of the Brumbleside series. Where can people find your stuff?
They can find my stuff on Amazon or my website, jreesebradley.com. Here's the first book, Brumbleside and the Daughter of Eve, and I'm on all the socials. Instagram.
Yeah, by the way, this is like the only live stream we've done to Twitter.
Really?
Because I knew that you're really good
nice.
at Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think we have one of those.
I think we have a Twitter.
And so I streamed it. I think we do. Yeah. And so it's there. So if you see it and you want to share it, you can.
Cool. Okay. I'll do it. Yeah. You guys aren't on social media much anymore.
We're getting out of it, man.
Yeah, it's
We're
good.
going
Yeah.
to email only.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like the only way to communicate with
Yeah,
us.
I'm preaching the Luddite gospel now.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great though. I
a
think
lot
we're
of-
going
a
back
lot-
there. All of us will be with you eventually, I think,
Mhm.
because you won't be able to believe anything on here anymore.
I go to prepare a place before you,
Okay.
and I'll
Okay.
write all about it.
That'll be your.
You'll have a
That'll be your
tome waiting
t-shirt.
for you.
That's your T-shirt right there. I go to
Uh-huh.
prepare a place before you,
Mhm.
and it's off
Great.
of the internet.
Yes,
All
it
right,
is.
guys.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, do you want me to just click out? Or are you going to click me out? Or how are we going to do this?
I know
Uh,
Angela's Jerry Spradley's not good with goodbyes, so we have to.
Right. I'll just keep going. You know I will.
No, I'll turn your camera off.
Okay.
All right.
See you
Goodbye,
later.
Jerry Spradley.
Bye.
Nice.
Bye. JBL Live is the YouTube channel, right?
Yep, JBL Live. Everyone go to JBL Live, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
does a ton of amazing interviews. She's interviewed both of us.
Yep.
Along with tons of other authors. And she is a one-woman army, a Budokai of sorts, fighting the culture war.
Budokai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except successful.
That's right.
Budokai was successful up to
Yeah.
a point. So, the Romans eventually got her, but, that won't happen to J. Reese Bradley. We're going to protect her forever. So,
That's right.
even though she's our annoying baby sister that we love.
And then we never asked for her, but
We never
probably
asked
would
for her.
if we knew. We're like, yeah, I think, yeah.
I know.
She'd be a good baby sister.
I asked
Yeah.
for our baby brother.
Did you?
Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I prayed for Cameron because I wanted a baby brother, and then I told mom and dad that I wanted a baby brother. And then surprise, a year later, there he is.
Yep.
Thanks, Dad.
And then he got all the attention, and you got to,
And now we live
have
together.
time to yourself. Get-
Yeah. He was a
Be
cute
careful
kid.
what you wish for, folks.
Yeah,
Be careful what you wish for.
might Get it.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. We didn't do the
Yeah.
obligatories at the front, so let's knock them out real
Yeah,
quick.
let's knock out the obligatories.
If it is your first time here, we would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and hit the bell as well.
Yes.
And if you've already done those things, thank you. Actually, I really appreciate that. And just hit the like button.
Yep.
Hit the thumbs up thing. That helps tremendously.
Mhm. Wayne Brady, that bell.
And if you're wondering what we're drinking in these mugs, I'm not going to tell you. But if you want to know about the mugs, I can tell you about that. Kothon Spartan mug. These are handcrafted by Master Potter Joel Cherico at ChericoPottery.com. They are durable. They are beautiful. Every single one is unique, hand painted. He made these in collaboration with Stephen Pressfield. And they have recreated essentially a replica of what the Spartans would drink out of. It's called the Kothon. So go and check them out. They're awesome. They last forever. They're painted black inside, which is really cool.
Mhm. That's so that you don't see the black broth that you're drinking, the pig's blood broth.
Yeah, the
That
pig's
was,
blood broth. Yep.
The Spartans' staple.
It will not spill. You will not knock it over.
No, I like the little thumb.
Oh, he's got that cool little
Little thumb tab.
button there.
Yeah, and Joel's got a team of like 25 to 50 people at any given time who helps him make his mugs. And it's just an awesome little outfit that they have out there.
Yep.
And and they teamed up with Stephen Pressfield for the Kothons.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
So,
And we have to give a shout out to Mike Fisher.
yeah.
I'll let you do Jardani Jovanovic.
Jardani Jovanovic, hair and skincare products made by real men for real men. Or as I like to say, be as sexy as you are deadly. Give 007 a run for his money. Awaken your inner John Wick with JardaniJovanovic.com. Hair and skincare products.
Yeah.
For the men in your life, everything from hair growth serum to shampoos and conditioners and body wash and lotions. Fantastic stuff. I shower daily just so I smell nice, thanks to Jardani Jovanovic. That's not a joke.
We have some of the
It's literally not a joke.
hair revitalizing oil.
Yeah. Have you been
That
using
little
it?
bottle. Yeah, so after last week,
Mm-hmm.
I took some upstairs and it smells so freaking good, dude.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Like like I could use. I don't know if you could use too much, but it's awesome. Feels good, smells good.
Just lather your face.
We're
up.
gonna see if it works. I've only been
I know
using it for
Nick's
a week.
he's been growing the beard. Everybody support Nick and his beard.
Yeah, I just started. Obviously,
he's going
you can't
through
even,
beard
You can't even
puberty.
see a beard puberty. You can't even see it.
he's going
I'm
through
gonna use-
puberty.
I'm gonna use Jardani Jovanovic revitalizing oil all summer long. So on Labor Day, this is Memorial Day weekend. So on Labor Day weekend, we're going to see the results.
Yes.
And if you can actually see what's on my face come Labor Day, then you're going to need to buy some.
I think we're also talking about doing a Patreon thing, a Patreon vote.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to call it Leave It or Cleave It.
Leave it or cleave it.
Yeah. And so so depending on, if you're a Patreon member, when it comes time, we will have a vote, leave it or cleave it. And we will leave it up to the Patreon members to decide whether the beard comes off or not.
I might give the results to my kids and say, "Do you agree with this?" I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we should do that. We should.
Are your kids on the Patreon?
I might hate it by the time we get to Labor Day. I'm like, I'm so done with this. And then
fair.
And then if they say, "Oh, he hates it," we gotta make him keep it on. Then I'll do that.
They'll tip your hand.
Yeah.
They'll let the kids know.
Yeah.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Keep it secret. What is that from? Oh, that's from Harry Potter. No, it's from Lord of the Rings.
It's from the other franchise.
It's from it's from the real fantasy franchise.
Yeah, it's from the real fantasy. Yeah. I mean, next to Star Wars. But.
We go back over here to the. Well, Jay Reese says looks good. Maybe eventually.
Thanks,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, sis. Thank you.
Thanks, little sis.
I love the support. I really do. What else we got here? Let's see. Greg Walker says, Jonathan, I'm campaign only on my Xbox. Oh, yeah,
good for you.
Yeah, campaign
Solid.
only. Got tired of being destroyed on Halo 2 as well. You can only take so much. Can totally relate.
Dude, no joke. And honestly, I don't even have it's been a long time since I played any console or any games at all. But I got in on Xbox Live for Halo 2, and then I got Rome Total War, and that basically made me stop caring about Xbox Live. And Greg, I don't know about you, man, but I'm all about campaign, single player campaign. I don't want to talk to other people.
Yeah.
I'll still go back and play Diablo 2, and I think you could log in on Battle.net, every now and then, Blizzard's thing, and I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
because it's just a bunch of people yelling at each other and a bunch of hacks, hacked codes and and
gross
loot theft, and it's such a misspent opportunity of community. Single player only, baby.
Very good. Yeah, misspent opportunity for community. Yeah.
Welcome to all of social media and pretty much the entirety of the internet. The internet has a way of bringing out the absolute worst in humanity.
No doubt.
No
doubt.
Except for the Goslings.
Yeah, but not on the Goslings.
Yeah, join the Patreon. No,
not on the...
So actually, yeah, it's like a sound.
You money changer.
I know. Just flicking them shekels, baby. Just, If anything, I am the guy usually over on the side of the temple fashioning a whip.
Jesus, use mine.
Yeah. I have several, Jesus. Look at all these whips I got. I'm like
got your back.
Jones. Yeah, I got guns. You want a gun? I know it's the 1st century AD, but I figured it out. I fashioned it out of reeds and Chinese gunpowder.
Jonathan went to the temple with a cat of 9 tails.
Yeah,
and they said, is he the Messiah?
Nope.
He's not the Messiah.
He's
a very naughty boy.
He's a very naughty boy. I don't even show up with a gladius. I show up with a Spartan Xiphus. So I can get in close. Feel the smell of your blood.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the whip thing is merciful compared to, my automatic go-to.
Yeah.
So, take from that what you will.
Nothing but bad little kids.
Campaign it. Yeah, right on. Exactly. Yeah.
That's who's playing. That's who's playing.
Nothing but bad little kids. Oh, dude, I got so many funny stories about the old Xbox Live, the Wild West of Halo 2.
Yeah.
Wild time.
They were good times.
Oh, man. Well,
what else are we talking about?
Let's in keeping with our discussion of AI and J. Reese Bradley, let's talk about the Buy Human Pledge.
Sure. The Buy Human Pledge. If you scan this QR code here next to our faces, you can go and you can read the pledge. Just a couple of paragraphs. We wrote this as our public statement and pledge to not use AI as creators.
Yes.
Not to use AI to produce our art. which is writing. We're authors, so we write stories, and but it's a pledge that any artist or creator can take, whether it's visual arts, you're an editor, you're a composer, an illustrator, or author. If you want to add your name to ours and resist AI, and you want to let your readers, viewers, listeners know that you care and you will not use AI, so they can trust that you will give them something that is distinctly human, you can add your name to ours, and we would be honored to go shield and
Locked
next to shield,
shields.
shoulder to shoulder, and
Phalanx
stand in the
forth.
gap against the Persian horde
Yes.
of AI. I don't know if that works, but I need to work on
Give
that.
them nothing. Take from them everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Or, as Aeschylus wrote, the fox knows many tricks. The hedgehog, one good one.
Ooh, it's good. It's good. But,
Honey Badger don't care.
signing the AI pledge is, I've said this several times, it's kind of like charging hell with a water pistol.
Yeah.
But you could say that about the Spartans at Thermopylae.
Hey, champions of lost causes and hopeless battles.
You know what? And eventually we might just save Greece. It only starts with a few.
Get to the hot gates, baby.
Yeah, let's get to the hot gates.
Get to the hot
to the Monopoly.
gates. Yes.
All right. What else we got? Let's
And bring your coat on.
Patreon. You know what? You can.
Yeah.
We have multiple levels of patronage. You can sign up for, but go and check it out. The most of our interviews are pre-recorded, and we reserve a significant portion of those just for our patrons.
Yeah, which typically is like to protect the channel and you know, and also to protect the channel in a way where we could have exclusive content that would, if we discussed it in the open live stream, would get us channel strikes. We learned this the hard way.
Yep.
So we put like what we call like the naughty portion, behind the Patreon paywall, just as a way to help support the channel and still provide the content that we want to provide and protect the channel from the YouTube censorship.
Yeah.
Community guidelines are rough.
And for you get to see that exclusive content that you won't be able to see on YouTube. And you'll get to see not only that, but the entire interview, unfiltered and unedited, a whole week early.
Yeah.
You get, among many other benefits.
Yeah.
But go over there, sign up to be our best friends.
And a lot of people who are Patreon members, they're in the chat all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a super fun community. They're great people. J. Reese Bradley is one of them. Mama Shay OC is one of them. Tricky. Chris, I think Chris Caps is also. I mean, like everybody who's been in the chat tonight, pretty much.
Yep.
Just about.
Yeah.
So it's just a cool community. It's a lot of fun people. And Shannon actually made a really good suggestion. She said we should have like an ongoing Discord chat just for people to talk.
Yeah.
And that would be a cool thing. Like, separate from the show and everything that we do, separate from Thirsty Thursdays. But for what it's worth, we are going to be airing the Stephen Pressfield interview this upcoming Sunday on the Goslings, and Sundays at 6 p.m. Central Time is when we do our normal shows.
Yeah.
And but if you're a Patreon member, you will have already had full access to that interview, so completely unedited.
So if you're not going to be around on Sunday and you want to see the whole thing, go to Patreon.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
you'll see it.
Yeah, and like there a lot of times, like honestly, man, it's kind of tough because like a lot of times we get some really, really amazing gems in the Patreon only segment because of the nature of the questions.
Yeah.
And like there have been times, even with Gary Wayne. So like homeboy who is mad at me, if you're money changer guy, if you're watching this, like I get it, dude. But here's fuel for your fire. But like I literally was thinking in one of those interviews with Gary, is like, oh man, it's a shame that this is like part of the Patreon only. Because like this is good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was so unique. And, there are some things that Gary talked about that he didn't talk about anywhere else on YouTube that we could find.
Yeah.
And that's exclusive for our patrons. And why didn't we put it on YouTube? Well, we didn't know if the answer might get us in trouble.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if you're upset about us, having a paywall in front of some of that, maybe you should be upset at Gary for putting all that information in a book and selling it and then going on YouTube and giving it all out for free.
I know, it's so absurd.
It's ridiculous. It's hypocritical.
You buy your
haven't
Bible,
thought it
don't you?
through. Yeah, exactly. You could get it online for free.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand. We were talking about this the other day. I don't understand the entitledness of people.
It's that keyboard warrior windshield courage.
Digital courage.
It's that digital courage, baby.
Yeah. You're not actually talking to the full person.
Right.
You're talking to their id.
Because the
That's all you're talking to.
Yeah. Because the full person might punch you in the face.
The full person might get smacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
So.
A confirmed troll you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Tricky and Chris going back and forth. Yeah. Nice.
Let's see. I'm trying to get this thing down. Sorry, give me a second. There we go. I guess let's do our patron shout out.
Yeah,
Call it a
yeah.
night, wrap it up.
Yeah, because it's after 9:30 and Daddy's gotta get to bed.
Yeah, same. All right. Yeah,
All the
we both had
senoritas
long
call me
days, long
daddy.
weeks. I'm sure you guys have too. But it's been great seeing everybody in the chat. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. We absolutely love talking with Jay Reese.
Yeah.
It was so great. And it's cool too. Like if you're in the chat and you're chatting, you see her in the live streams and you chat with her,
Mm-hmm.
and then you actually get to see her.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like
It's
that's
cool. It's fun. And you can do that on her channel when she conducts interviews. She's interviewed me and Nick before, and she'll interview other people.
Yep. We'll get her in Mama Shaw OC.
Yeah.
Who's also been a guest on the show before.
Yes.
Amazing interview.
One of our one of our favorite interviews,
Yeah.
honestly. That was such a cool interview.
And they're besties.
Yeah.
So we might have them together
they really are like
on
the sun and
on
the
one of these
moon.
Thirsty Thursdays.
We should call it the eclipse episode because it really
Yeah.
is like the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
You know, Jay Reese is like so sunny and bright, you know, and just and then there's Shannon who is
Energy,
like
passion.
Uh-huh.
you know.
and Shannon is like the most serene, chill, moonlit, cool person you've ever
Yep.
met. It's so funny. It's really hard. Honestly, I just kind of want to get them on an episode together because I have a really hard time imagining them being friends.
Like one is the sail and the other's the anchor.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And they're both like super rad.
Yeah.
And their husbands are really rad too.
Yeah.
And they have adorable children. So like,
Indeed.
yeah, it'd be really cool to get them on.
One is an author, one is an artist.
Yeah. Shannon made a really awesome picture of us. That I want that picture, Shannon. Where is it? Yeah.
We got to show that off. We want to show that off.
Yeah, we're totally gonna pimp that on the Patreon and everything for people to see. Actually, probably just on the channel. You know, because it actually is really good, and she did a really good job of capturing our means, our dispositions. So
I can't wait to see it.
anyways, all right,
Here we go.
let's do it.
Time for our patron shout out. This might be a little loud. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, where do I even start? Let's start with the Spartan level. Top dog, Gosshog Lifts. Go to Instagram, check out at Gosshog Lifts. That's inspiration, Christian inspiration for young men. Pressfield level patrons, we have Joanna B and Lisa S.
Yes,
Thank you guys so much for your generous support. Hemingway level patrons, we have Patricia, we got Tim, Jody, American Cars. Tricky subject. Who's in the chat tonight.
Tricky.
You guys are the backbone. We love y'all. Orwell level patrons. This is where I have to take a deep breath. Keena, Karen, Nancy, Rita, Orlando, Mark, Joshua, Courtney, Bob, Margaret, Julie, Ruta Lee, Savannah, Bay, Joshua, Lenka, Alanya, Melissa, Vicky, Kelly, Marcia. Second deep breath. I love the Orwell patrons, man. It's the perfect level of patronage. Jabber, Charmaine, Jerry, Marcia, Cheryl, Chris Caps, who's in the chat tonight, Karen B, K9 Training, Mama Charles C, also in the chat, Canadian Breeze, Gabe Bello Music, who's in the chat, Mike Fisher, our generous sponsor of Jardanovich, Carol J, Jamie J, Sean E, Sunny, Michelle, and Charlotte.
Nice.
And there's still more music left, guys, so we have room for more patrons.
Yes.
If you want to get a shout out, sign up. That's one of the perks.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I think that's just about it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let me get our. Yeah, I guess we'll just do this. I don't know what to do now.
We'll go right
It's so
to
great.
it. I know.
I got a
All right,
little bit left in
everyone.
here.
Thank you for joining us on our second episode of our seminal episode of Thirsty Thursdays.
Yep.
This is just like a midweek stream that we do. That's just kind of for fun. It's not like the big main event of whatever the major thing is we have going on Sundays.
Yeah.
This is kind of like our opportunity to interview cool people and still have fun in the chat and do it live. So we're really grateful for everybody being here. So anyways, we will be back on Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central Time with our episode with Stephen Pressfield,
Uncle Steve.
Fireside Chats
great
with Uncle
mentor.
Steve.
Yep.
Yes, the Jedi Master of writing.
Yes.
And man, it was probably our best interview yet. So you definitely want to be back on
agree.
Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time to watch our interview with Uncle Steve. And then before that, we will be interviewing Tim Cohen for the third time. So, yeah. So this Sunday will be Fireside Chats with Uncle Steve. And then the following Thursday, I just got confirmation during the interview with Jay Reese, we will be interviewing Roxana about AI and artwork. And then the following Sunday will be Tim Cohen. So we got some awesome stuff. We got tons more lined up too. We're booked out through July.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, join us on Sunday.
Exciting summer, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. In the meantime, I am Jonathan.
It's Lucifer.
And I'm Nick.
And we are the Goslings.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's all right. I need to turn it up a little bit. Go ahead. I'm ready for this one.
Go forth.
And strike down the mother darkness.
Adios, muchachos.
Good night, guys.
Vertical punch.